So the album title is Another Life. Why is that?
Well, that particular song, Another Life, is really about a car crash. As you know, Nick Clavan writes all the lyrics on this album, Another Life. But I also take that to have a double meaning, in that for me, to write rock music in terms of songs, because I've spent most of my life rattling up and down the flute, playing scales and arpeggios every day, and trying to play difficult classical stuff and everything. And so for me to be exploring the role of being a songwriter and in rock is very interesting, and it's a bit, for me, it's a bit of a breath of fresh air, to be honest, getting away from all the technical work that I normally have to do just to sort of keep my flute playing up to a reasonable performing standard.
And on this new album, you decided to play flute this time. Was that a conscious decision?
Yeah, it was a conscious decision. I thought, we're checking out of London. Again, it was Nick Clavan, actually. He suggested to me that perhaps I shouldn't play flute and that I should stick to the songwriting, because it would, that I wouldn't go down like the normal avenue and through the old ways, as it were, of working. And I did, in fact, with checking out of London, I did try flute on a few tracks, but I couldn't seem to sort of shoehorn it in. It just didn't seem to fit with anything. So I thought, well, there's no point putting flute on for the sake of it. So I left it off. But with this album, I thought, well, obviously I am a flute player. That's what most people know me as, who do know me at all. And so I thought, well, why not use it? And so yeah, I mean, there's the 3 tracks where the flute's used. But I hope that, it's really all about the songs, and I would only put a flute solo on if I thought that the song itself actually required it. But there's no point just wall-to-wall flute. What's the point?
So you mentioned Nick takes care of all the lyrics.
Yeah.
So how does that process work? Does he send you lyrics? Do you have tunes already, or how's it to be a song?
In this particular way of working, it's always worked that Nick would send me the lyrics, and I would work from them. In the very early days when we were doing Checking Out of London, I used to sometimes ask him, what does this line mean, or that, and he would say, oh no, don't ask too many questions about it, just get on with it. And so I've taken that approach with all the lyrics. I look at them as if they're poetry, if you like, in the way that some lines in a poem can have different meanings for different people, and people will read different things into them. So I just look at the lyrics, and just having the lyrics for me means that the job's half done in terms of the songwriting, because it means the structure's there. Often it's pretty obvious if there's a chorus, as in, forest, you are the forest and I am the fire, something like that. It's an obvious chorus. So that often will help determine the structure. And then I sit down and, between, singing stuff to myself, writing at the piano. If I get stuck on the piano, I'll pick up the guitar and try something on the guitar, and then when I get stuck on the guitar, I'll go back to the piano, and then when I get stuck again, I'll wander around the house or singing to myself and banging things and just trying to get some inspiration. But certainly for this particular album, Another Life, and for most Checking Out London, it's work. The lyrics were the starting point.
How do you feel the 2 albums are different, or is one just a natural evolution from the other?
I suppose the main difference from my point of view is that I was just more confident with doing Another Life, because when I did Checking Out of London, that was the first time I'd ever done any singing. I wasn't really sure, and I used to do some vocal exercises, and sometimes the postman would come by, and as the door opened, he'd say to my wife, oh, is he strangling a cat again or something? You get these comments from people when you're just starting to learn to sing, and it can knock you back a bit. But having done that album, and I had a lot of help with that, of course, with Checking Out of London, because Tony Patterson also did a lot of the harmony work on that, and of course Nick Magnus did a tremendous job on production and pressing his magic button to make my vocals beautifully in tune and things like that. So I had a lot of help from people to get the vocals in some kind of shape. But I suppose this time round I thought, well, I've done it once, so I know I can I can do it. And I also, I took some singing lessons and really worked at my vocals, and I'm still working at it now. And I'm quite happy to say to people that I'm a beginner, in a way that, if you took up the trumpet, you wouldn't expect to be able to play it brilliantly within a couple of weeks, would you? You'd work at it for some years before you would expect to be any good. And I just take that sort of view with my voice. So, I'm still working at it, and I still find things I can do or can't do, in the voice. And sometimes you get a sound of the note and you go, where did that come from? So it's fun, it's exciting. I think it's because I've spent so much time practicing the flute that you can kind of get very sort of narrow thinking.
In terms of singing live, have you got plans to perform the album live in the future?
Yeah, we've just started having some rehearsals. It started off really as we had an album launch, and I rather foolishly said to Nick Clabin, I'll sit at the piano and just sing some of the songs on my own, And of course, as it got closer to the day, I realised that I'd bitten off a bit more than I could chew, and that, maybe you can do that at home, and it feels comfortable. But I thought if people sat there. Anyway, luckily some friends of mine who live locally, Duncan Parsons is a very good drummer, and Nick Fletcher, who a guitarist who I've worked with many times in recent years. Well, first of all, Nick came round and said, he started picking up the guitar and playing along to the songs. I thought, yeah, this sounds good. Feels easier, with some help, some support. And Duncan joined us on some percussion. So we started off as a trio, and then we've just recently added a bass player, and we are now a full-blown rock band. Rehearsals are still underway, but yeah, we've got a few gigs lined up for next year, and we'll be doing the Classic Rock Society on the 7th of May, and the Musician in Leicester just before that on the 17th of April, and we've got a few others that we're negotiating at the moment, hoping to get something fixed up. So it's exciting times.
Just give in, just